So we have the carburetor out, and there's two bolts at the bottom. This bolt right here keeps the carburetor intact, and this bolt is the draining bolt. This will help you drain out the gasoline that's in the snowblower. So I'm going to remove it and take a look at the condition inside the carburetor. Now before we get started, obviously you're going to need a ratchet wrench or some sort of wrench that will allow you to remove the 10mm bolt. Then you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, small enough to be able to remove the bolt that's inside there, and I'll show you what that's about once we get inside the carburetor. And some sort of carburetor cleaner. I have the Jet Spray Gum Out carb cleaner here. I also have the gunk available in my garage here, so either of those will work. And you're going to really need a thin wire to be able to clean out the main jet, and I'll show you that. And unfortunately for me, when I went to my local hardware shop, they didn't have any metal colored one, so I ended up getting the green enameled wires. But it'll do just the same job. It's thin enough to be able to clean out the holes. And if you're a stickler about that, you can use these needles here that you use for sewing, the sewing needles. They're thin enough to be able to get inside those holes as well. Step number one, I'm going to try to remove the bolts that's at the bottom here. Now, I've loosened these before, so when you guys are first time doing this, you're going to need to put a little elbow grease to be able to get it out. That comes right off. And you want to look inside to see if there's any residue. This specific carburetor seems pretty clean, but I'm going to still wipe it up anyway, just to be thorough. See, it's still a little bit in there. Okay. And then what you have next is the floater. Just want to make sure that there's nothing keeping it from staying flat. So if I look at it from this angle, it looks pretty good to me. You can remove it by removing the pins back here and slide it up. Let's take a look at this little pin to make sure that there's no damages. Looks like it's in good shape to me. The spring looks like it's intact. There's nothing wrong with this one. Let me just wipe this up a little bit. Notice there's some smudges here.
If you liked the video so far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help me push out more content like this one. Thanks.
Now you look towards the bottom of the carburetor. There's two holes. There's this hole right here, and there's where the main jet's going to be. For this one, you want to look in there to make sure that there's no glossy film. And if there is, take a wire, a thin wire, or maybe a needle, and clean it out. I guess one other thing that would be useful is a wire cutter if you have to cut the wire. Now this carburetor looks pretty clean. There's nothing in there that's blocking it, so let me just clean it anyway since I have it open. Take the wire, just gonna all right. Now this is the important part if you're trying to clean out the carburetor. You got to remove the main jet. Now if you look closely inside there, you see I've damaged it a little bit because I didn't have the right screwdriver. So it's very important that you find the right size before you start trying to remove it. It's very tight in there, and you can damage it because it's made out of brass. Now you want to press the screwdriver inside there and then turn. Now for me, lucky for me, I've already removed it, so this is just for demonstration purpose. Now, if you look close enough inside the carburetor, you'll notice there's some grooves in there. That's actually for the bolt from the cover to go in. right? So I'm showing you that because the main jet that comes out will not go past that. So once you get it out loose where you can't turn it anymore, you just want to hit it out. It's going to fall right out along with the main jet. Now, as I was saying earlier, you can see that the head of the screw is a little bit damaged, but luckily it maintained its groove, so that way I can put my screwdriver in there and still make that turn to get it out. Now, if I look in here, it looks clear to me, but I'm going ahead and clean it anyway. Okay. All right. And here's the main jet. Now for the main jet, you can see already that it's clogged. So I'm going to put the wires through, specifically these three here. It's clogged up. Guys, I want to caution you, if you guys are going to use a wire that has some sort of coating, make sure that it doesn't come off when you guys are cleaning it. There's a risk for that. That's why it's much preferred if you just get the galvanized steel or the steel ones. But in this case, these holes are big enough where it's not giving me that problem. I'm going to clean the top now. Put that all the way through. So I was looking around the garage and I actually found some thinner wires, steel wires, so that I can clean these. So I can clean the main jet much easier, especially for the smaller holes. Just in case you guys are curious, I had a pack of these laying around, and it seems to work. So let's get to it. All right, let's look at these smaller jet holes. Make sure it's clear. Let's make sure that we clean it thorough, just so that there's no residue or gunk stuck in between these holes. And the main jet's clear now. You can see all the holes are clear. I'm going to spray some of the gum out into here just to clean it out a little more. When you wanted to clean it out, make sure that you're facing the carburetor cleaner tube at the bottom towards the bigger hole, so it's able to force all that goo out. Okay, it's clear. And when you've done that, you want to put it back. Now the trick is you want to make sure that the flat side of the carburetor main jet is flat against the screw, the bottom screw. So it will go in like just like that. Okay. Goes right in there. This goes right in there. And I want to screw it to tighten it back up. Now, since my screw is a little damaged, I wouldn't tighten it too much where I would have to put so much elbow grease into it next time, but just enough that it's tight. Okay, looks good. Next, I'll put the float back on. I want to make sure that the needle's straight. It goes right into that little hole there. Okay. And then there's this silver pin that I'll slide right into the back here. All right. Then I'll put the O-ring around this. Now you want to make sure that this goes on tight because there's going to be fuel that's going to fill up in this bowl. Now once the carburetor is in here, and if you need to drain the gasoline, it's going to be sitting like this. Make sure you have a bucket underneath there, and it would be this screw here that would allow you to drain the gasoline. I just want to make sure that the main jets are clean, and that's one of the reasons why snow blowers don't work, because it gets clogged up from people leaving gas in the tank from previous seasons without emptying it. And I'm going to go ahead and try to see if this will kickstart the snow blower now.